race 2 then, this one from Fuji. This is the reverse grid, everyone in their own choice Group 4 car. Turn 1 here, very tight, very compact. Let's see if everyone gets away well. Everyone does appear to get away well. Let's hopefully we get a better camera angle going on to turn 1. We do indeed. It's the Citroen of Diablo. They got an absolutely blistering start. P-Gib in the Jag, not too bad either. Buddy there in the Aston Martin. Is there any fuffle down into turn 1? We have got a Lamborghini of Has91 and the Jag of P-Gib going a little bit wide. Let's just have a little bit of a replay. See if we can figure out. Let's jump on board with Shell Shock. So yeah, just mix up of braking points I think going on here. Shell Shock got a little bit of a tap from who's that? Who was that up there? That wasn't Has91, that was SurferEv. Anyway, on we go. Alright, so P-Gib has lost a couple of positions. Matt Elwood there in the Ferrari, just able to sneak his way through. And we've got SurferEv in the Mclaren. McLaren's a very popular car. Oh, we've got a Lamborghini off there. That's Has91. What's happened to Has? Again, using his power wipers. So very cautious. No contact with anyone else. The Lamborghini just gets a bit of a big swapper on. Actually, let's jump back to me because I get quite a good view of this. Yeah, he just loses it. I end up tagging the back of Obi-Wan because obviously Obi-Wan has to get on the brakes. So sorry about that, Obi-Wan, if you're watching, but I don't think it really affected him because he was already having to slow down for a Lamborghini that was spinning. So an action-packed opening lap here at Fuji. We will have a little bit of a recap through the grid order in just a second. I just want to see if any moves get made. We've got MRC Buddy looking down the inside of Raffo. Oh, Buddy goes very deep actually there. Ends up colliding into Diablo, slows down, lets him back past again. I got myself up to 10th. I was in 10th going into the corner. Sorry, I thought it was one of these corners where I was doing quite yeety overtakes. Not on this occasion. It looks like everyone is surviving the chicane for the first time of asking, alive and well. So we've got Buddy then having to give that position up to Robust to Hood. So the Ferrari does go quite well round here. Diablo though in the Citroen's got an excellent start. So as we come to close out the first lap, we'll have a little bit of a recap and we'll check what tyres everybody's on. So Diablo with the softs on the front, supers on the rear in the Citroen, P1. Robust Hood, same tyre compounds in the Ferrari, P2. Buddy softs all round. I think he's learnt his lesson from last time. He is third. Then Matt Elwood in the Ferrari also on softs in fourth. GT Raffo on softs, fifth for him. Shell Shock softs and supers. P-Gib mediums on the front, so P-Gib going that brave route. He's going to have quite low front end grip, but he's definitely committing I think to a no-stop race. You got Miggins supers front, super softs rear, myself, so I've just gone softs all round, kept it nice and basic. SurferEv 10th, softs all round as well. Macready with super softs on the rear in the Ferrari. Obi-Wan softs all round, and Has91 softs all round as well. So that's where everyone is as we close out the first lap. We're deep into lap 2. And you've already got, I'm up to P9, chasing Miggins down for that P8 spot. Just trying to work my way through the pack. A couple of incidents in the opening laps help me out here as I go for the move down the inside of Miggins. And that's myself up to P8. Buddy then trying not to lose too many positions. Matt Elwood now up to third in the Ferrari. He's having a great start. GT Raffo in the system PlayStation McLaren. He's trying to put the moves on MRC Buddy as well. Shell Shock's involved in this little fight. A little bit further back we've got P-Gib. Then there is myself. I was having an issue in the McLaren where it was washing wide on this corner, so it was slowing me down. Miggins really tidy through that corner every single lap. So he was always getting right up my chuff, but we have got the slipstream fast then coming down into turn 1. Diablo's nice and clear, has got a little bit of a penalty, but doesn't really have to worry about that penalty, to be honest. Then it's Raffo versus Buddy. Raffo gets that move made down the inside. Then myself getting past P-Gib in the evergreen liveried Jaguar there. So, yeah, so most of the overtaking that's happening tonight, P-Gib lifts out of that one. It's going to invite Miggins up for a move as well. P-Gib might be banking on people pitting, which, to be fair, going into the race, I think a lot of people might have been thinking it. You do lose a little bit more time in the pits here at Fuji than you would have done at St. Croix, as Buddy there just gives way to shell shock a little bit. So Buddy's starting to drop back in the Aston Martin. The Aston, which is a bit more of a lump than the McLaren. The McLaren's quite a nimble car. It does suffer with this weird front end washout that just for some reason impacts the McLaren in just a strange way. So we've got yeah, just a little bit of a recap. Top 3, we've got the Citroen of Diablo, then Roberstode in 2nd, Matterwood in 3rd, GT Raffo 4th, Buddy 5th, Shellshock 6th, myself in 7th, Miggins in 8th, P-Gib 9th now, with SurferEv 10th, Creeder in 11th, Haz91 in 12th, and Obi-Wan's had an incident somewhere. What's happened to Obi-Wan? Oh, what's he done? So him and SurferEv had matching incidents. It's just unfortunately Obi-Wan, as he tagged McCready as well. Unfortunately Obi-Wan's was a little bit more severe, and he's off the track completely. As we see that move from Shell Shock on Buddy again, as we've rewound and replayed the action. So a little bit of field spread starting to happen. This does tend to happen in race 2. On the basis of everyone's in different cars have different strengths. This will become more apparent in future races. In different tracks. Fuji's one of the ones that probably favours the handling cars a little bit more. You do have the equalising big long straight, but as long as you're in the slipstream, it doesn't really matter what car you're in. You're going to be relatively competitive. Roberstode is starting to gather Diablo up a little bit. Last lap round, Roberstode was 2 tenths quicker than Diablo. Currently holds the fastest lap of the race. GT Raffo now, without a slipstream from the Ferrari ahead, is going to be punching a hole in the air as he dips out of the slipstream there to not allow Buddy and Shell Shock to have that. And myself and Miggins very close together. Then you got P-Gib. Let's jump up, see if Roberstode goes for the move on Diablo. He does indeed. Now, because Diablo's got that penalty, you can't now re-overtake him. Yeah, you can't now re-overtake him because that would be against the rules. So Miggins now starting to come under pressure from P-Gib. P-Gib backs out of the move though in the jerk. GT Raffo's picked up a penalty. That's a track call penalty from somewhere. So again, he can the rules with penalties. Just to give you a little bit of a refresher, you are allowed to defend your position with a penalty. You are allowed to carry the penalty. You just are not permitted to overtake another car whilst carrying a penalty. So he's got to get rid of that. So is Diablo if he wants to try and get back past Roberstode. He's getting rid of it a little bit though. So he's doing something about it as I go for the move past Shell Shock. Move made. So up to P6. Shot now defending away to Miggins. Miggins is very good in this latter part of the lap. It's not really showing him off here, but one thing I was noticing when watching our race is his line into the final corner. For some reason, he's just able to tidy it up really nicely. You can see him on there. Me, look, just breezes past Shell Shock straight up my chuff as well. So doing a really good job there. Diablo with a little bit of a penalty still to lose, chasing down Robustord. Matt Elwood is gaining on these guys now. Matt Elwood just picking up the fastest lap of the race, 45.0. What's going to happen? It looks like I'm coming under threat now from Miggins. Does Miggins go for that move? No, just about managed to stay ahead of Miggins, only just though. So we've got a shell shot Piggy. SurferEv just starting to reel these guys back in again now as well. He's carrying a little bit of a penalty. Has 91 after that big incident early on in the race. Recovered it back to P11. McCready in P12. The race will probably come to him a little bit later on. And Obi-Wan, unfortunately, at the back. Diablo's got rid of that penalty, so he's free to go on the attack now. We will see if that's what he does. What else is cooking? Let's have a look. Not a lot at the minute. It's relatively chill. We are still pretty close together. There are not many gaps emerging in terms of between too many cars. There is the gap between third and fourth. Always we've got. I heard something then. I heard the tyres screeching, but it appears to be nothing to worry about then. So it looks like Buddy might be coming under attack from myself and Miggins. Buddy though does have the slipstream of the McLaren ahead of him, although it will be relatively faint. Although the McLaren in a straight line is probably a little bit faster than the Aston Martin is. Down to turn 1, Robustord having to defend now to Diablo. Everyone seems to be okay there. Buddy defends that one to me successfully. A little bit further back, we've got Has91 now getting past Shellshot. Shellshot's from somewhere has had an awful. He was battling in for like 6 before, but for some reason Has91 with his power wipers able to get past him. McCready in the Ferrari. Yeah, Shellshot's apex speed there really low. So whether he's dealing with an issue in that McLaren, I'm not too sure. We'll have to of course keep an eye on that. The top 3 really starting to escape away at the front now. They are probably working together a little bit more. I would probably argue that Robus and Diablo have been having a little bit more of a battle than anyone else, but certainly not been giving each other too much grief. I give Buddy a little bit of a tap there. Just on the apex of the corner. I do pick up a little bit of a penalty. So what I do here is, because I overtook, probably gained an advantage, I did let Buddy back through there. I then want to get rid of this penalty pretty quickly as well. I don't want to be carrying this because I'm in the middle of a fight, so I do choose, I think, to get rid of this. Remember, you'd think it wasn't just a couple of days ago, but yeah, I go out wide. There we go, look, just getting rid of it now, because then at least I've got the slipstream of other cars. So yeah, it's lost me a whole host of positions, but I've got this lot fighting away, while I'm not a million miles away behind them. I can still get myself back involved in that fight pretty quickly. Check in on Diablo and Robustord then. Nothing doing with these guys. Robus again going defensive down into turn 1. GT Raffo 4th, so he's having a good race as GT Raffo. Massive GT overtake there from me. I remember this happening. Let's go back on board. So look at how far back I am here. SurferEv ahead of me. Piggy, Buddy. So they all get on the brakes really early. And I get 2 cars in one corner, and then I'm tucked up behind Miggins again. So I think just because everyone's battling away, just enabled me to get nice and light on the brakes. Fortunately, they didn't turn in on me or anything like that. It could have been a hell of a lot worse than it was. But that's what I like about this league. It's nice, it's clean, it's respectful. The focus is on clean, fun racing. There miscontact, there are incidents. GT racing at the end of the day, anyone that's watched real life stuff knows that the real life stuff goes exactly the same way as well. And we just try and keep it clean and fun. Oh, we've got P-Gib there getting it all wrong, coming down the hill. I don't know if he got squeezed there by SurferEv. He picks up a little bit of a penalty for his trouble, so he's going to get rid of that straight away. Obi-Wan is starting to reel these guys back in now as well, so Obi-Wan's starting to get back in this fight. Has that he won the Lamborghini. He goes a little bit wide, that's going to let Shell Shot back through. And then you got myself, Miggins and Buddy. Buddy goes really wide there. It's going to give him dirty tyres. Fortunately he recovers it up nicely. You can see how much time we're losing to the top. Top of the grids as Robuster Hood still leads the way then as we go into lap 8, approaching the halfway point of the race. It's Robuster Hood, Diablo, then Matt Elwood. Again, I'm not sure who pits here or if anyone indeed does pit. Keeping an eye on the tyre graphics in the lower left hand corner. As you can see, I'm pulling out for the overtake here on Buddy. Or make a little bit of a mistake on that one though. Me and Buddy both brake late. That lets Miggins through. SurferEv also through as well. So just by taking advantage there, SurferEv's gained a couple of positions and he's now up to P7. And a sea of McLarens, 4th, 5th and 6th and 7th, all McLarens. The most popular choice for the second car, I think. Did a little bit of a count, me and Seamus. The Ferrari also very popular. The Audi TT that so many people chose last season. And now with the longer pit stop times and everything else, just isn't really a worthy car because you just lose too much time by pitting, and you lose too much time on an Audi that's got very worn tyres. So most drivers now taking an MR or an FR car because they just look after the tyres that little bit better. So we're starting to heat up in this little fight now. You can see just how much of a better run Miggins got out of that corner than me, pretty much side by side of me on the exit. We've got Robuster Hood and Matt Elwood in the pits, so that releases Diablo clear. The Citroen does hold its tyres nicely, so he might be trying a one-stop. GT Rafa might try the same thing as well. Now he's in P2, he's got track position, as it is Miggins and SurferEv both going for the move on me. They both go quite deep. Just managed to get the switchback overtake. Sorry, it looks like I'm reviewing my own race here, but remember this happening. So Miggins is tucked up right up my chuff. SurferEv also peels out for the move as well. And, just I don't actually see that. I don't see Surfer coming. Fortunately, I noticed him on the radar just shortly after that move got made. But both Surfer and Miggins' break points were obscured there, I think, and they just broke a little bit later than they would have chose to. That puts Surfer down to 7th. McCready's up to 8th, and he's having a great race so far. P-Gib, who is on the mediums, don't forget. Again, will be losing grip and I guess lap time, but he's guaranteeing himself the ability to go deep into the race. How's that? One up to 10th in the Red Bull Lamborghini. Then we've got Obi-Wan up to 11th now because of Robuster Hood and Matt Elwood both having made a pit stop. Now this pit stop has cost them what is it, 15, 20, yeah, so about 25, 27 seconds. It's cost them to make a pit stop, but they have got fresh tyres now, so they were running. Well, Robus was winning the race at one point. He's down in 12th now because of his pit stop, so if no one else pits, he's got a lot of work to do to get through all these cars. The thing is now, all us lot, we're already on worn tyres, and they're only going to get worse. We're already starting to go into the 46s on laps. 47s if you're fighting another car. Yeah, the tyre wear starting to make an impact. Does Miggins go for the move on me here down into turn 1? I think he does. Does Shellshock go for the move on Buddy? Looks like he might do. SurferEv ghosting a little bit. That means he's got a little bit of a penalty to shake. McCready in the Ferrari then. One to watch for me, McCready. He's just set his fastest lap of the race. We might see him make a late charge. He seems to be looking after his tyres a lot better than everyone else's. We're all fighting though. McCready's not really been getting involved in too many scuffles, although he's in one now. He's not been doing so far. Alright, so till the end of the race, 13 minutes. The race order, and I'd sort of argue now it's too late to pit. So if you've not pitted already, it's probably too late to do so. The guys that have pitted will have got the undercut on you, and you're just going to lose out far too much time, and you haven't got enough time left in the race to make that time back. So Diablo leading the way ahead of GT Raffo. Diablo's got much better tyres than Raffo has, at least on the front. Decent lap times between them both. Raffo though, arguably at least that last lap was considerably faster than Diablo was, so we'll keep an eye on whether Raffo can do anything about the Australian leading the way. It's myself in third, but I am the lead carriage in a long train of cars. So in this train we've got Miggins in 4th, Shellshock 5th, McCready is 6th, then you've got SurferEv and P-Gib involved in this fight. P-Gib and the Jag. Just going to try and make a move here on SurferEv up the inside. Nice and tidy move there by P-Gib as he gets himself up to 7th. Obi-Wan's not too far behind. Neither is Has 91, and then a bit of a gap back to Robust Hood, Matt Elwood. MRC Buddy has pitted, so these two definitely ones to watch, because they now got their outlaps out of the way, and they're going to start coming back through. So the gap between Robust Hood and Has 91, 4 seconds. That will not stay like that for long. Has 91's lap times into the 47s and 48s, and sometimes these guys are going to be easily able to do 45s now, pretty much until the end of the race. So we'll keep an eye on that, see what transpires. P-Gibbs picked up a little bit of a penalty from somewhere, so if SurferEv can get himself past the Jaguar, which he has done, the Jaguar cannot re-overtake him until he's got rid of that penalty. So Obi-Wan potentially now as well can get himself past the Jag, do what others in the Suez Canal could not do, and get past the Evergreen, blocking the way ahead. So yeah, Obi-Wan gets himself through. P-Gibb's going to have to get rid of that penalty sharpish. Yeah, wise move, got rid of it there. Unfortunately, Has 91's going to have the drive on him, but P-Gib can just tuck himself up behind the Lamborghini and get the slipstream down the main start-finish straight. Let's go check in on Diablo as he starts his 12th lap. 46.5 that time round, 46.7 that time round for Raffo. So yeah, Diablo at the minute doing enough to maintain the lead of the race, and he's not giving a slipstream to the McLaren behind him. Then it's myself in P3 with Miggins and Shellshock for close company, but McCready, the silent assassin, again went even quicker that time round, 46.152. Is reeling us in now. So in that Ferrari has been silently creeping up to the back of us. So we'll see if I can hold on to third here. I'm starting to lose tyres a little bit. Miggins' tyres are in much better nick than mine. Shellshock's aren't in bad nick either. What other fights have we got going on? Surfer and Obi-Wan potentially could start to trans into something. Surfer's a second or two behind McCready. P-Gibbs got back past has 91. Then we've got the two Ferraris of Robust Hood and Matt Elwood. These guys now approach the traffic. We know the pace that these two guys hold, so we'll see if they can navigate their way through. 11th and 12th at the minute for these. We're already going to make a campaign against the Lamborghini. Buddy's come out in a fresh set of super soft, so maybe going for that fastest lap point. Who knows? So 8.5 minutes remain. As Miggins goes for that move down the inside, but isn't able to get it done at this stage. I just had a feeling that Miggins was trying to get me to use more tyres at this point, so I wasn't doing that. I wasn't overly defending against him, because that would make me use a little bit too much tyres. Instead I was just running my race. 8 minutes left to go, so anything really could happen in this one. So the two Ferraris have navigated their way past the ailing Lamborghini. Lamborghini's tyres have seen better days. Next target for them is P-Gib in the Jag. So warm mediums against fresh softs. It's like fresh softs, they're already starting to take life out of them. But that move, when it comes, should be relatively straightforward. Then there's Obi-Wan, SurferEv within relatively close proximity. But then once you start to get to the likes of Macreeda, that job's going to become a little bit more difficult for the two Ferraris. So Shell Shock, Miggins and myself still battling away for third. You can see a different Miggins' line, he just gets himself really tucked under. I think I get a better exit speed though, so I reach my potential top speed a little bit faster than Miggins would, but he's getting slipstream, so it kind of negates that. In terms of the top two, as they're coming down this turn one now, again, not really anything to report with these. Miggins does pull out for the move, but yeah, I go a little bit deep here actually, but so does Miggins fortunately, and Shell Shock's going to potentially try. Oh, as Miggins gets a bit of a swap on, he gets his left rear onto the AstroTurf there on the outside of turn one, and that does give the American a place. So Macreeda then edging closer and closer, 48.4 that time round though, so either his tyre is really feeling tyre wear or he made a mistake. One of the two. Robust Hood now right in the back of P-Gib. P-Gib is defending his position, he's got every right to, but he's not going to have the tyres to really fight that move too much. Robust Hood on the fresh tyres, able to drive pretty much straight through. Matt Elwood taking a bit more time. What else we got going on? Buddy's inventing new parts of the track. Diablo's still winning relatively comfortably. We're all starting to dip into the 47s now. That's the effect of tyre wear. 50% wear on my front left. So yeah, it's really dropping off in performance now. This McLaren with fresh tyres can get into the 44s. 45's race pace with a little bit of tyre massaging, I think I'll call it, but 47.2 that time round for me. Same time for Miggins, sorry, same time for Shell Shock, a little bit slower for Miggins because of his mistake. But again, Macreeda 46.0 that time round, so the Ferrari really showing its worth now, and Macreeda's starting to put the moves on Miggins. So we see a nice little battle kicking off behind as well between SurferEv, Obi-Wan and the Ferraris. So Matt Elwood now is caught up with the Jag, Robust Hood's now caught up with the McLaren of Obi-Wan, the digital car culture McLaren. And there is SurferEv not too far away as well, so does Robust Hood go for the move here? He's going to try and get him on the exit. I think this is what the fresh tyres are doing, just enabling Robust to get a better exit than the car ahead. McLaren's quite tidy on the brakes. So even with worn tyres, Obi-Wan can get that nice and tidily tucked in. Lives to fight another day so far. So coming back to the fight near the top, with 3.5 minutes remaining. Still just about surviving in third, ahead of Shellshock Mclaren. Mclaren now got his way past Miggins, and like I say, Mclaren's now picked his time. He's executing game plan alpha. Full attack mode for the Ferrari. Other Ferraris in full attack mode include Roberstad and Matt Elwood. Roberstad goes for the move now on SurferEv, pulls out the slipstream, probably a little bit early to be fair. He might have to tuck back into that slipstream as the Ferrari's going to try and make a move on the McLaren coming down the main straight. They are going to be side by side. Does Obi-Wan try and make a move as well? He does. Obi-Wan goes quite deep though, that's going to knock Roberstad off track. Unfortunately for Robus, that's put him back behind P. Gibb. It worked out nicely for Matt Elwood though, who's moved up to 8th and in prime position to attack SurferEv. And McCreader's got Miggins. We missed that overtake, so McCreader now can go full attack on myself. Let's jump on board the Ferrari. The Ferrari's looking very capable here at Fuji. Gets a little bit of a whack there, does McCreader. What happened there? Let's have a look. So it was Shellshock that was behind him. Let's jump on board the... Oh no, it wasn't, it was Miggins. Oh, Miggins, yeah, he just got a bit of curb. He tried to back out of it, but unfortunately he did just slightly tap. He tried to get out of the way, to be fair to Miggins, but not much you could do. So McCreader then hits into me. McCreader doesn't gain anything out of that. Does take me a little bit by surprise, as you could probably tell, but we all survive, so all is well. All is well. SurferEv on the massive defensive now against Matt Elwood. Roberstad, the big loser out of that, unfortunately. Looks like we're going to have one more lap now, ladies and gents. This is it, one more lap. Diablo still leads the way. He's got a massive gap ahead of GT Raffo. Raffo's tyres, like mine, really feeling the pinch now. Our last lap for me to defend it away to the Ferrari of McCreader. No room at the inn. I've got Matt Elwood, SurferEv and Obi-Wan. Matt Elwood nice and tidy through the middle there. P. Gibbs going on an adventure on the outside of the track. That might let Obi-Wan through. Indeed it does. Let's have a quick check back. Anything happening between myself and McCreader? So far, this is where the Ferrari's party piece comes in. Really good exit traction there from McCreader. Coming down towards the hairpin. See, I'm going to go defensive. I'm going to defend this position. It's the last lap. McCreader just trying to hang it around the outside, but just about fortunate I was able to roll off the brakes in time. Let's go give credit where credit is due. To the man who is leading the race, which is Mr. Diablo. Rounds the final corner, pretty much led the entire thing so far. He got a great start, got to P1, had a bit of a battle with Roberstad along the way, but Robus pitted, all but handed the win to Diablo. So well done to the man from down under for taking the win there. GT Rafa, my teammate, takes P2. P3 for myself in the end, just ahead of Shellshock. McCreader's lost out a little bit. I might actually go back and see what happened to McCreader. So this is McCreader. Oh, yeah, he just went a little bit wide. Oh, that's unlucky, especially after all the work he did to get there. The penultimate corner, pretty much. unfortunately for Mclaren then. So yeah, we got Shell Shock 4th, Miggins in 5th, Matt Elwood just sneaks into 6th past Mclaren. Going to be pretty much photo finish between those two. Then you got SurferEv in 8th, Obi-Wan 9th, very close to Robust Toad and P. Gibb. P. Gibb gets maximum suck from the Ferrari. Good moment to pull out, but unfortunately not able to make anything happen. Has 91 in 12th, and Buddy, who very late pit stop, did go for that fastest lap, but unfortunately wasn't quite able to get it for 45.1. Buddy's going to bring it in 13th. It's been a great opening round in the Mature Racing Club Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship. Please check out the links in the description. That's the links to the commentary team. There's links in there to WeAreDriven. You can see the logo on Buddy's car there. That's the charity initiative set up by the sim racing groups. And yeah, that's it for round 1.